Jack Doohan, son of five-time 500cc MotoGP world champion Mick, is reportedly set to be announced as Alpine's second F1 driver for 2025. Doohan's F1 lifeline has come as a result of Carlos Sainz choosing Williams over Alpine, with the reserve driver set to get the nod to race alongside Pierre Gasly at the French squad. Doohan joined Red Bull's junior team in 2018 and won races in British F4 and Asian F3. The Australian was F3 runner-up in 2021, but he switched to Alpine's academy in 2022 and finished third in F2 last year. Qatar 2022 marked Doohan's first taste of an F1 car, with the 21-year-old since taking part in 6 FP1s with the squad. Doohan's confirmation could see 3 Australians on the grid at the 2025 season opener at Melbourne's Albert Park. Dutch fans got a taste of F1 ahead of the sport's return to seaside circuit Zandvoort, with Red Bull heading northeast to the town of Assen before its appearance at the Cathedral of Speed. 13-time Grand Prix winner David Coulthard revved up the crowds who'd gathered at a temporary track, renamed Coulthard Road, along a canal, with the Scot opening up along the long straight, proving the prodigious power of a modern Grand Prix car. Before the 53-year-old delivered some donuts for the crowd.
It's kind of fun to whiz along the canal. We did a couple hundred kilometres an hour, which is probably a bit faster than you would normally go along there, but of course all regulated and safe.
Staying with Red Bull, which dropped a bombshell during the break, with news that its longtime sporting director Jonathan Wheatley will leave the team at the end of the year to join the Audi project as team boss. Wheatley has been an integral part of Red Bull for 2 decades, first as a team manager, then sporting director, with his expertise a key element in the top squad's World Championship successes over 2 eras. It was understood that Wheatley had designs on a future team boss role, with the Brit heading to Hinwil, following gardening leave in 2025, to join ex-Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto, who is Sauber's chief operating and technical officer. Following the news, Red Bull team boss Christian Horner paid respect to his veteran Lieutenant Wheatley, whose contribution, he said, will forever be a marker in the team's history. It has been a long and successful relationship with Jonathan, over 18 years, said Horner. Alpine made headlines in the days after the Belgian Grand Prix, with the French squad confirming Oliver Oaks as its new team boss. Oaks, a former Red Bull junior driver whose high-tech squad races in F2, F3, GB3 and F4, will become F1's second youngest ever team principal since Red Bull's Christian Horner. Oaks, whose winning high-tech operation was unsuccessful in the FIA's F1 entry tender, will now get a shot at the main game on his own, where it's expected that his racing nous will come to the fore. In a redoubled effort to return Enstone to competitiveness. The team has talented people and excellent resources at its core, and I am confident that we can accomplish a great deal together during the remainder of this season and the longer term, Oaks said. McLaren sought to lock in advantages over the break with a fresh multi-year deal extension for its team principal Andrea Stella. Stella was promoted to the top job at McLaren from December 2022 and has since overseen its transformation to a front-running operation with a systematic engineering-led approach. The Papaya squad has not disclosed the length of the contract beyond multi-year, but Stella's new deal, similar to recent extensions for its 2 drivers and McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown, is part of a recent push for stability at the squad to cement future success. We could not have a better person in place to continue the pursuit of consistently fighting at the front of the grid, said Brown. Staying with McLaren, where Lando Norris says Red Bull should have considered Carlos Sainz, with the Brit stating that his friend is one of the best drivers in F1. Sainz inked with Williams last month for 2025 and beyond, closing out options with Sauber and Alpine following months of deliberation. But talks with Mercedes and Red Bull never got going. To the surprise of Williams team boss James Vowles, who described him as an individual who will make the difference. And Norris, who says Red Bull should have snapped him up, though the 24-year-old admitted he is biased as a friend. He should have gone there in my eyes, Norris said. RB team boss Laurent Mekies has opened up on the impact of the sport's stacked calendar, given F1's huge worldwide popularity, with Miami 2025 the next standalone race weekend. The sport returns from the summer break to 2 double headers, followed by 2 triple headers, with 2025 beginning with 2 more double headers, starting with Australia and China. But while Mekies celebrated the sport's current success and stated that the team is happy to be part of it, he didn't shy away from the human cost. It is certainly a tough schedule, particularly for the mechanics, Mekies said. Outgoing Alpine boss Bruno Famin has bemoaned the crippling cost of being an F1 power unit manufacturer, amid talks with Mercedes on the squad becoming a customer from 2026. F1's power unit cost cap is set to increase in 2026 from $95 million to $130 million, while the fixed price for a customer engine deal is €17 million, around $18.4 million. And Famin, in a chat with official podcast Beyond the Grid, says that the economics just don't make sense, even with promising developments on its 2026 power plant.
When you see the R&D cost in developing a PU compared to buying a PU, there is a huge difference. And that huge difference is not compensated by any prize fund, because all the prize fund goes to the team. Then we are not talking about performance, we are talking about a huge difference in money.
Aston Martin test and reserve pilot Stoffel van Dorn says that the Green Team will use the second half of the season to properly understand its car and prepare for a stronger 2025. Van Dorn stayed on at Belgium's Spa-Francorchamps circuit to take part in the Pirelli tyre test, but opened up to official podcast F1 Nation on what the squad needs to move forward.
Pushing through upgrades is hard, but I think it's more about the understanding of the philosophy of these cars, what it needs, what characteristics it needs, and I think that's where the top teams are doing very good right now. Is they know which areas to tackle, they know what to improve, and for us sometimes we bring things that work, we bring things that doesn't quite work, and that's probably the area we need to focus on.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.